Hello Leo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate with everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation, and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Leo. Let's see what you guys have got going on. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. But let's first look at this recent past energy. What has Leo been dealing with in their recent past? Believe in the impossible and step out of your comfort zone. I like this energy because it feels bold. This is an energy of doing something bold, putting yourself out there, taking a risk of some sort, and almost like, it sounds a little bit cheesy, but like believing in yourself in a really powerful way. And I think that, okay, here's a flip side though. I could also be talking to a collective that's being pushed to do this. So this could be either a Leo who has taken some sort of step with that energy, or a Leo that is needing to, and the universe is pushing you in that direction. Because yeah, it's like you really been pushed out of your comfort zone here in this past energy. Maybe it was your choice. Maybe you didn't have as much of a choice in it. But I do feel that either way, being out of your comfort zone is something you're being pushed to do here. All right, current energy for Leo. Where is Leo at this time? Emotions are running high. Oh, we're stressed. Leo is stressed. But then you have prosperity lies ahead. I feel like you're stressed because of how deep in the unknown that you are. A lot of people think that the only thing you need to do is take the leap. And though the leap is a big part of it, yes, taking a leap of faith or stepping outside of your comfort zone is a commitment to allowing yourself to be uncomfortable. And I think that a lot of people expect, oh, if I take the step, if I take the risk, if I do the thing that I've been avoiding or do the thing that I want, then everything's just going to fall into place. But that is, taking the step out of your comfort zone is literally step one. Step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is being willing to continue to put one foot in front of the other in outside of your comfort zone in the unknown. So I feel like right now, emotions are running high. There's a lot of stress in this energy. Well, how is this going to turn out? Is this going to get me to where I want to go? Like, did I make the wrong decision? Am I doing something wrong? Like, that is so natural and so normal. Your self-doubt is something that that typically, to me, I always say that fear can often be a sign that you're headed in the right direction. And I feel like that's very much the case here for you, Leo. And with prosperity lies ahead, I feel like this path that you're on is absolutely going to pay off in the end. But I also at the same time feel that it's not a comfortable process, and it rarely ever is. Anything that is worth doing, anything that is worth having, it doesn't typically come easily. It typically comes at a willingness to face our fear and our insecurity and our stress about what we can't control. What does Leo need to know about their immediate future? Work through your fears. So what's on the other side of the fear? The answers you need are coming. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So what you're desiring, the outcome you're desiring, is on the other side of fear. Yeah, because there's the expect powerful change. But here's the thing about uncertainty. And Spirit has definitely has something to say about it in this message, is that it's never, you're never going to get to a place where you are absolutely certain that things are going to work out. You're never going to get to a place where your fear doesn't exist, where you don't have self-doubt, where you're not worried about the future, because no matter what, you're never going to have control over how things unfold. What you do have control over is your willingness to not stop showing up for the things that you want in this life. And the more that we embrace the uncertainty and embrace the unknown, and a lot of what that often means is being willing to not know how things are going to turn out, when things are going to turn out, what they're going to look like, but trusting that the outcome is going to be for your highest good. That is where like the key to creating the life that you deserve and desire really lies. You know, obviously I am a tarot reader. I do not do future predictions for the most part. I can read what to expect and kind of what kind of energy is flowing, but I do not say this is exactly what's going to happen at this time and at this date, mostly because I don't feel as if that actually helps us. Because if the universe came down right now and was like, Leo, if you take the step towards your dreams and you do the thing that makes you feel uncomfortable, everything is going to work out in your favor. And this is what date it's going to happen. And you can expect this. And this is what it's going to look like. And this is what it's going to feel like. You're going to be like, okay, cool. Thanks, universe. And you're going to take those steps and you are not going to learn a damn thing. You're not going to grow. You're not going to heal. You're not going to face fear. You're not going to gain more courage. You're not going to gain more confidence. You're not going to gain more faith. You're going to stay exactly as you are, just with the outcome that you desire. And then what is the freaking point, right? We're here on this earth to heal, to grow, to evolve, to expand. And we do that on the journey. So we have to be willing to embrace the journey and to trust the process, because that is where we become the person that we need to be in order to attract and sustain the things that we desire. And you're in the middle of that journey right now. And that means facing obstacles and facing challenges and facing setbacks and facing all of the fear and the anxiety and the stress that comes with obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. So just because things feel uncertain and you're in the unknown right now doesn't mean that things aren't working out. It means that you're in the middle of the journey of creation, because creation requires you to become the person that you need to be to attract and have the things that you need to have. And that happens in the middle of the unknown, in the middle of fear, when you're facing your anxiety and all of the stress about what's to come. So I feel like it's an interesting reading, because it's the universe's way of saying, yes, things are working out, but everything you desire is on the other side of fear. So it's up to you to not allow your fear to dictate your decisions, to not allow your fear to sabotage, to not let your self-doubt cause you to give up, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, despite the fear, despite the anxiety and the stress that things aren't working out. This table is driving me crazy. Want it to be straight, but it just does not seem to be straightening out today. So I don't know. I'm really excited for you guys based on this, but I don't think that this is like an easy breezy journey. It never really is, but it's a journey that is well worth walking. And I think that you're going to find yourself in a place where you go, okay, yeah, that was absolutely worth it. And when you overcome so much, when you overcome fear and self-doubt and all of these things that you're facing, it makes the outcome so fulfilling, because you have learned so much on the journey that it's not even just about the outcome. It's about all of the things that you got to experience and gain because of what you've been going through. So remember, the key isn't to be so outcome based. It's to be focused on what the journey is trying to teach you. Overall theme of this reading for Leo. The reward is in the becoming, not even of the thing that you receive, but in who you become in the process. Overall theme of this reading for Leo, please. Relief. I feel like that's what you're looking for. Some relief. Safe travel. Oh, that's interesting. Look at how both of these have the, like a, it's not a cross. What? Like a crossroads. 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 I feel like you're at a crossroads, Leo. I feel like you're at a crossroads. And I feel like that crossroads is, do I continue to believe in the life that I deserve and desire? Or do I settle? Do I accept less? Do I allow my fear to win? Look what's on the other side. Affluence, which is all about wealth. I mean, you have affluence and you have prosperity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean money. It's not just material abundance, right? Freedom, peace, love, like all of these things are also other forms of wealth. So take it as it resonates, because it doesn't just have to be about that. But I feel like you're being asked to take the path right now that requires you to believe that you are capable of having the life that you desire more, that requires you to trust the universe more, that requires you to trust yourself more. That's the path you're being asked to take right now. Yeah, because both of this is definitely interesting. It's definitely saying you're at a crossroads in some way. The path less traveled, but not even just by others, but by you too. What would the version of yourself who believed you were capable of the things that you desire do? What would that version of yourself do? Because the more we can show up as that version of ourselves, the more we create that life. It's not easy. It's like always easy in theory, right, to say these things. Of course it is, but it's so much easier when you're in the middle of the journey. All right, Leo, let's look at your recent past. Step out of your comfort zone, believe in the impossible. Yeah, it's like you took the step and you haven't seen the results. You haven't seen things working out. And I started this whole reading talking about it's not just the step out of your comfort zone, it's the commitment to trusting the process outside of your comfort zone. There's a lot of new moon energy here. So newer energy. You're on a new path. You're on a path you've never been before. So yeah, your fear is loud. Yeah, your insecurity feels very real. You're closing out old cycles. That's why. The world. And I think that's what's so interesting about this reading is like it's like you're stepping into new energy, into new cycles, into new beginnings. And I think that like, yes, you, it's kind of twofold. It's like, yes, the things that you're reaching for, the path that you're on, like there's a lot of exciting things at the end of it. But I also feel like there's a need to embrace the every single step of where you're at right now, because every single step is necessary. Because this is all about commitment. I have really learned that success is inevitable if we stay committed to the path. Success is inevitable if we stay committed to the path. Even if that means you experience failure. Even if that means you experience setbacks and challenges. It's not about not having those things. It's about trying to continue to show up despite those things, going back to the drawing board when necessary. Every single successful person has stories of failure. Success in any form, whether it comes to attracting the love that you deserve, the financial freedom you deserve, whatever it might be, these things don't just happen. They're created, and we create them based on our commitment to our worthiness and deservingness of experiencing those things. And a lot of times what that means is wading through those periods where it feels like things aren't working out, where we might be struggling a little bit more financially, where we might be experiencing loneliness. Not because we deserve those things, but because those experiences are providing us with the opportunity to hold our head high and say, no, I know what I'm worth, and I know what I know what I'm worth, and I know what I deserve. And I'm going to keep putting one foot in front of the other, because I know that settling for less and going back to my comfort zone, that happiness and fulfillment doesn't exist there for me. So I'm not going to go backwards. I'm going to move forwards. And I feel like that's a lot of what you're struggling with right now. King of Swords, this is one of my favorite cards in tarot. I'd say it's my second favorite card in tarot, because it's all about equanimity. It's a willingness to adopt the mindset that says, no matter what happens around me, I don't have control over that. I have control over what's going on within me and how I show up. And it's this willingness to be so certain in what you deserve and what you desire that you say, I'm not I'm not going to allow the obstacles and the challenges and the setbacks to define what's possible for me. I'm going to allow those things to be opportunities. Opportunities to learn, opportunities to redirect, opportunities to grow. Because if we're open to the journey, the outcome will flow. But if we think that the outcome's just going to come, then we're missing the whole point. So you're in the middle of a pretty intense journey right now, but this journey, it's like you have everything you need to face it. This journey will take you to where you're trying to go. So what does Leo need to know right now? Lovers. Queen of Wands, here you are. The Five of Swords. And then there's the Two of Swords. I knew it. There's the crossroads. And you are. It's like you're at this crossroads in your life, or when it comes to making a decision. Like, it's like you have a decision to make here. You don't have to be male, or you don't have to be female for this to be you as the Queen of Wands. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us, but I do feel very much like this is your energy. And it feels like that's so interesting that I put these cards here, because it feels like a choice between these two things. The Lovers or the Five of Swords, because the Lovers is all about connecting with your worthiness, with your deservingness, with your confidence, with your capabilities, and choosing the path that says, this is what I deserve, this is what I'm capable of. And then the Five of Swords is a path of not trusting, a path of you against the world, believing that the universe doesn't have your back, believing that you have to fight for the things that you deserve and desire and control and manipulate outcomes. And I feel like there's a balance when it comes to creating the things that we deserve and desire, right? There's a balance between showing up in our worth and trusting that the universe is going to meet us there. And what that really means is focusing on what decisions we can make in the moment to align with our worth more. Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's asking for our needs to be met. Maybe it's starting the business. Maybe it's finally telling your boss to suck it, whatever the case might be. I think that you're in a place right now where you're at this crossroads that says, do I want to repeat or do I want to evolve? Do I want to repeat? That's exactly it. Do I want to repeat or do I want to evolve? And I think you're going to choose evolve, but I feel like there is this need to have this awareness that this is what's going on. Especially if you're in the midst of like some sort of challenge or obstacle. And a lot of times what that means is keeping a solution-oriented mindset to the best of your ability. Trusting that there is a way through this. There is a way for me to rise above this. There is a way for this to elevate me, to evolve, or to escalate my life. Not escalate. What is the word I'm looking for? I guess evolve. To improve my life in some way. Enhance. That was the word. Doesn't mean you're not stressed. Doesn't mean you're not freaking out. Doesn't mean you're not scared. It means that you're showing up anyway. And that's the key. For a long time, I thought that being like a spiritually grounded person or being somebody who trusted the universe meant that you never fear, that you never freak out, that you never have moments of doubt, that you're just always 100% certain and you show up in that all the time. And I've learned that is actually not a real place. No one ever gets to this place where they're perfect because we are human beings. We are inherently flawed. We all have an ego. We all have a shadow. And those parts of us are a part of us. We can't get rid of them. We can't hide from them. They will always exist. And being, a person who relies on their spirituality, who trusts the universe, who, has faith, is about understanding that there are going to be times in your life where your fear is louder than your faith. There are going to be times in your life where you are freaking out about things that you can't control. There are going to be times in your life where you have no freaking clue how things are going to unfold for you, and it's going to make you feel anxious. But you, in those moments, can make a decision to say, but I'm going to show up in my faith anyway. My fear is louder than my faith, but I'm going to take action based on my faith anyway. My insecurity is louder than my confidence, but I'm going to move as if I am the most confident person in the world anyway. And when we do those things, that's where we have the power. We don't have power over how we feel. We don't have power over what's happening to us. We don't have power over this, anything around us. We do have power over this, how we show up, how we respond, and the actions that we take. I feel like right now you have this choice. You might not feel certain that the universe has your back. You might not feel confident in your abilities. You might not feel lovable or deserving or capable of having the love that you desire. But if you can decide to say, but I'm going to show up as if I am anyway, that is how you create it. Because you're rewiring your brain to think differently. You're rewiring yourself to think differently, to believe differently. Because these things are going to, the energy responds to how we show up, to the energy we bring, right? When we bring certain energy, the universe meets us there. So we don't have control over all the stuff, right? But we have control over us. What does Leo need to know moving forward? It's interesting because the universe is saying you need to know that you're going to face fear. You need to know that there's going to be setbacks and challenges and obstacles. You need to know that there are going to be moments where it feels like things aren't working out. That is why I'm not one of those readers that's just going to tell you, oh my God, everything's going to work out and it's just going to appear on your doorstep tomorrow. Because when it doesn't happen and you face the obstacle and the challenge and the setback, you're going to go, oh, well, then I guess that those things aren't for me. And I guess that that's just not meant to happen for me. And I'm unlovable and I'm unworthy and I'm undeserving and I can't have the things that I want. But if you can be certain and say, yeah, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be, moments where things aren't easy, but I can choose to show up anyway and have that awareness, you have more power, right? And that's my goal with my readings, is to provide you guys with insight into where your power lies so you can step into it fully. What does Leo need to know moving forward? And these are just things that I've learned that have helped me. So please know that I'm only coming from a place of experience, never judgment or thinking that, I have all of the answers. I think that I know what has worked for me. Knight of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune. The Devil. This is interesting. And that's exactly what this is saying. Okay, there's going to be tower moments. There are going to be moments where you are so stressed out. And please, this is not fear-mongering. This is not me saying you have anything to fear, okay? There are going to be moments where you are stressed out, where you're in the middle of the unknown and you have no idea how things are going to work out. There are going to be times like that. In those moments, try to take a step back. Remember this reading right here. And remember that your reality and the things that you're experiencing, your circumstances, are merely a reflection of the beliefs that you've held to this point. Beliefs that you are unworthy, incapable, undeserving, that you can't have the things that you deserve and desire. And those beliefs are not truths. They're merely beliefs that you hold. So in those moments when you're experiencing your fear, in real time, the obstacle, the challenge, and the setback is shining your fear back to you, saying, see, I told you. I told you you can't have these things. I told you you're unlovable. I told you the person that you desire is never going to come into your life. And I'm not talking about an ex coming back. I'm talking about the love that you desire appearing. Your fear, there's going to be moments where your fear is saying, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. In those moments, you have a choice to keep embodying the belief that things are working out, or to allow your fear to win. And I feel like whatever journey you're on, Leo, it's big and it's exciting. And it can take you to some really cool places. But you have got to be aware that there are going to be moments where you are experiencing your fear in real time. And not from a place of fear-mongering and saying that you have anything to fear, okay? But that's part of the journey. And that journey is going to get you to where you're trying to go, because your faith in this journey is going to get stronger. Your confidence is going to get stronger, because faith is built in the middle of fear. Confidence is built in the midst of insecurity. It's not built in the absence of it. It's built alongside of it. You will always have fear, but your confidence can be stronger. You will always have insecurity, but your faith can be stronger. I flipped those, but still. So that's what's interesting about this future energy. And I think that stands with where you're at right now. Yes, things can change, but it's a journey. It is putting one foot in front of the other, trusting the process. If things happened overnight, if we just took steps out of our comfort zone and things just happened overnight for us, there'd be no point. There'd be no point to life, because we wouldn't heal, we wouldn't grow, we wouldn't expand, we wouldn't deepen our faith and our connection to our worthiness. We'd just exist. And we're here to do so much more than just exist. All right, Leo, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, looking at what you can do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I've got an advice card to pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Thank you so much, Leo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Leo.